Okay, live on YouTube. I gotta close YouTube out. We are live on YouTube and 6:47. We will get started. I'm gonna also just share my screen. All right, can everybody see the PowerPoint?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, beautiful. I'm sorry, Anthony. I know you can't see it, but
I've got them in front of me.
you got it. Okay, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I have 4 items.
Okay. All right. You want me to run the roll call, Jim, just to make sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Tony Pollock,
I'm here.
Nancy Poilo, Beth Hanson,
I'm here.
Eva Atwood,
Here.
Mitchell Smith, Bruce Hostler, Bob Van Vogelberg,
Here.
Kylie Thompson,
Here.
Bud Bear,
Here.
Carl G. Grandi,
Here.
Cynthia LaPierre,
Here.
Jennifer Kawin,
I'm here.
Jean Horn,
Here.
Jim Diamond,
Here.
Lee McGonigal, and Thomas Polker. Doug Centerman, is Doug on?
Yes,
Doug?
I am.
Oh, hi, Doug. I don't know if you want to introduce yourself. Doug is I think he was on the planning board a few years ago and has been reappointed by the town of Hunter and is being approved by the county legislature tonight to rejoin the board. Thanks. Welcome back, Doug.
Thanks for having me. I just say hi, everybody, and looking forward to serving again.
Hi, it's good to see you, Doug.
Good to see you as always.
Okay, so
Maybe we will see you.
yeah, well, I don't know. We can talk about that. With the change of the mask mandate and the things semi getting back to normal. I don't know what the protocol is going to be for meetings, or whether the board just wants to decide to meet and follow those protocols in terms of vaccinated people and beyond masks or masks, or so we can talk about that perhaps at the end of the meeting or under the business items, what the board wants to do going forward. The upside to me for the past year, we've had a quorum every month. So where when we meet in person, we struggle to get a quorum. So the upside is we get we're having the meetings. So so the first thing on the agenda, the approval of the April 21st minutes. I don't know if anybody had a chance to review those.
Rich, can I just say, I think I was on mute. It's Nancy.
Hi, Nancy.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Thanks. So, in terms of voting members, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 voting members. So, and then next month, Doug and Nancy will be able to be official members. So, and again, I just ask if you make a motion or second something, if I'm getting pretty good with the voices, but if you could just identify yourself, because I'm looking at the PowerPoint too and taking notes and things, so it's hard for me to see who's talking on the Zoom. So if when you make a motion or a second, if you could just say who you are, that'd be helpful. So any comments or questions on your changes to the April 21 minutes?
Hey, Cindy, I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as written.
Okay, thank you.
It's Jen. I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Hi.
Any opposed? Any abstain or recuse? Okay. There's not a whole lot to report. Again, just want to emphasize the issue of trainings, particularly the two trainings that we have coming up. When I say we, every spring, Greene County and Columbia County will co-sponsor a training. It's a little different with all the online webinars. Usually, maybe by next year, we'll be back in person with the in-person trainings. But on June 3rd and on June 10th, we have two webinars scheduled, the June 3rd one on comprehensive planning and on June 10th, the intro. So if we can get as many folks to turn out for that. I know people, some people are emailing me, when they take a training and so forth. So if you could do that, I'd like to keep an up-to-date list to make sure that everybody's getting the 4 hours of training that are required by law, which if you serve on a local board and the county board, they can overlap. But, and you can also, training hours carry over. So if you do more than 4 in a year, they will carry over. So I encourage you to do as much training as you can.
Rich, do we have to send the certificate or just tell you we attended?
If they give you a certificate and you want to send that to me, that's great. If you just, some people are just forwarding the email after they, sometimes they'll get an email from whoever's putting on the webinar that it's been completed, and they'll just forward me the email that they completed it. So either way, whatever works.
Okay, thanks.
Sure. So, I put all these in the minutes and I try to send these around by email on a regular basis so that, unfortunately, Department of State revamped its website. All of the training registration information used to be very easily accessible on their website. It no longer is, and I think they're trying to correct that. So the local training division, it's completely, it was much more user-friendly, I thought, before, but it is now different. So I put some of the registration information up on the Greene County website. So that registration link in the PowerPoint goes to the Greene County website, which will then take you to the registration links for the state sponsored. So here's a couple. This is a question which I sent around a note, and some people responded. The Department of State and our planning of the comprehensive planning training asked what municipalities in Greene County are working on comprehensive plans, and I got a few responses of people that recently did. Or is anybody actually working on or will soon be working on a comprehensive plan?
Hey, Rich, down in Athens in the village just approved the comprehensive plan last week.
Athens did. I know the village of Catskill recently did one. I know Jim's told me Pattsville's not working on one. Nancy replied about the Athens as well. So I don't know if any other municipalities. I'm not sure. I guess they're wondering, because we did ask for a training in comprehensive planning, and I seem to think that somebody in the county was working on comp planning, but.
Rich, this is Jen Kewine. I did write you back that we're working on ours actively right now.
Okay, great.
For Lexington. And also to the training, I wanted to ask a question because I'm really working with one other person pretty extensively on it. She doesn't need training, but can anyone attend these trainings?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Just
want to make sure because
they're open to anybody, even a member of the public. If somebody is just generally interested in planning and zoning in a municipality, they don't even have to be necessarily on board.
Okay, good. Because she's working with me actively on the comprehensive plan, so I'd like to invite her to that training.
Yeah, absolutely. They're
okay.
Generally open. They're open to the public.
And actually, there's another guy that's working with us too, and he might want to attend too. So okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Sure. And I include, some of these other webinars because I know there's a couple of battery energy storage facilities that are in the county now, and there's potential, I think, for more. There's one being built in Catskill. There's one that's being finalized in Caro. So I included some of those NYSERDA webinars too, which I participated in the first one, and it was pretty informative to learn more about these facilities and what they compose. And any of those, I don't know for local boards whether they would meet the training requirements, but for me, I have a pretty broad brush. Any of these kind of trainings are good of meeting
Yeah.
requirements for the county. Doesn't have to be very, it doesn't have to be focused on planning. All right, but anyway, that's enough. I don't know, under business items, you want to talk about the next meeting, or you want to wait till we talk about adjourning? Is that, I don't know how people feel about wanting to continue to do this on Zoom versus meeting in person, or I don't know. Right now, the executive order that allows us to do this expires on June 9th. It's been it's been renewed for the past 16 months since it was passed last March. I don't know if it'll be renewed again since things have changed now, but I don't know if you want to play it by ear, but so there's pros and cons to the Zoom.
Is it up to the county, our county to decide, or us to decide, or what?
Well, I think it's partly up to us and what we're comfortable with as a group, I think. If people are comfortable meeting, if most people are comfortable meeting, there are in-person meetings going on. It could be part and part. Well, really, it can't be part. I don't know if I'd have to double check. I'm just thinking out loud here. I don't know if we have part Zoom and part in person, how that would work. As long as we still had 10 people between the two. I mean, we could do something like that if people are vaccinated and feel comfortable coming to a building. If they're still not comfortable, it really, I think it's partly up to us because, the legislature is doing that. They are meeting in person, and people do have there is a Zoom option as well. So I think, it's partly up to us.
Well, it does have a point because you said we had a quorum.
Yeah,
And I've come down to Catskill several times and gone home because we didn't have a quorum.
That's true.
This is true, and it's that is the upside to me, where it's we literally all through this every meeting, we've had a quorum through doing Zoom, which it's hit or miss when we're meeting in person.
How does everybody feel about it now? Everybody feel like Zoom? I mean, to me, it doesn't matter.
I mean, well, if you're not, I could stay in the office and do a Zoom meeting from the office. And if a couple people want to come to the office, I just got to make sure that is legally okay. If a couple people are in the building and the rest of us are on Zoom, we could do that. Like Tony, if you wanted to come to
Well, that's not like I said, it doesn't matter to me. I mean, as long as I have something in front of me where I can read and we do these meetings, it's fine. That's up to you too.
I mean, it's harder to view some of the visuals, obviously, some of the.
Yeah, I know, but you know what it is? I know what you look like. So that's a plus.
Well, okay, well, that's all right. All right. Okay, well, for now, we'll continue to Zoom unless if the executive order is not extended, then we have to meet in person unless they change the law. Unless the so that's the thing. We might not have an option. I
wonder if can the legislature actually change it by itself even if it is lifted?
New York State can, and I think New York State is considering.
Okay, it's a state issue. Okay.
State, not the county. The state would have to change
the
open public meetings law to say that people can meet virtually. Right now, it's just done by executive order because of the pandemic. But so we'll have to wait and see. Like we might not have a choice, but if we have a choice, we'll continue to use Zoom. It sounds like so.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, all right. Moving on. Well, I already did the education and webinars. Just some grant opportunities, as most of you might have heard. There's money flowing again, which is a good thing as well. With federal money, state money. Last year we did not have a round of state economic development money. There's money in there for comprehensive planning, natural resource inventories, waterfront revitalization planning, watershed planning. So there is money in the CFA. Applications are due July 30th. So just something that municipalities might want to think about if you have the wherewithal to be able to, they can be, some of these CFA applications can be a bear, but if you have the ability to, there's some grant money. The Estuary Grant Program is due June 2nd. There's still money in there for planning as well. And as well, the Greenway, one of the deadlines just passed, but there's another deadline, September 10th and November 8th. So just like to make people aware of some of the grant opportunities as well. And we'll get into, unless there's any questions about this stuff, we'll get into the referrals. There are 4 referrals on the agenda tonight. The first one is one that was also on last month's agenda, but we didn't have a site plan. The site plan was dropped off. It is for a development of a wine shop and a studio apartment on Main Street in the village of Hunter. It's a site plan review. It's in the within 500 feet of the State Route 23A right-of-way. It is zoned Village Business District. This is Main Street. It's this long lot that's borders the Schoharie Creek. This is image of it. It has the proposal is to build this on the existing foundation. And I'm not sure where it's at the local process. This is the actual site plan that was submitted to build on this existing foundation. There were still some things in the site plan that I would have liked to have seen that weren't included, like the parking and the fact that it is in the floodway and 100-year floodplain. None of that is really indicated on the site plan. So I'm not sure exactly how any of the ingress and egress is going to work to Main Street, or if there's already cuts there. None of that, no. And that's what I'm trying to relay. And if you guys could relay to your municipalities as well, being that we don't have the benefit, or I don't have the benefit of meeting with the applicant, this is all I have to go on, unless the applicant, wants to tell me more. So the more information I can get on a site plan or in notes or relayed to me, otherwise I'm guessing, and it's hard for me to put kind of the pieces of the puzzle together to know, what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say that this foundation was formerly a restaurant there on Main Street. And it never had parking. It was always on-street parking. So I don't know if.
Okay, well, that may be the case. And none of that was indicated in the application. So I don't, if it's all on-street parking, then.
That across from the school?
It's down a little bit further before where Christie's used to be. The building that was Christie's.
Okay. Yeah.
This one was Rinaldo's Trattoria or Trattoria. Okay, you could get wine and a full Italian dinner for $11 back in the day, and it was good. And it was good
back in the day. Well, it's going to be it's proposed to be a wine shop now. Okay. So you're just going to be able to get your wine there for probably more than $11.
Yeah.
I don't have any issue with it, except that I didn't know, I didn't know about any of those things. I didn't know, what the parking deal was. It also included a studio apartment. So it just, this just said proposed retail store, but the actual referral application said it also include a studio apartment.
Yeah.
Rich.
Yes.
Yeah, Cindy's correct. It is on-street parking available, and also the foundation. The first floor would be 3 feet above the BFE, so it fits the requirement for development in a 100-year floodplain.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't know if you want to include it. I mean, those are some of the comments. So my recommendation was local decision with comments, and those were some of the comments, as you might have seen in the referral. That's because I didn't know the answers to some of those things, as in terms of, whether My presumption is, yeah, I mean, they know it's in the floodway, they know the Square Creek's right there, and those things are all being considered, as well as parking. But again, I didn't have that information at hand, so.
Excuse me, but Carl, that if if they're gonna have a studio apartment, there does need to be some parking, doesn't there?
Actually,
No?
I don't think because there's parking on the street that became an issue. Presumably you park in front of your house.
Okay. Okay.
And also for the commercial development, and you're right, I don't know why it wasn't mentioned or noted in the application, but the owner also owns the lot across the street, which is next to Jagerberg. So you got Jagerberg across the street, and then he has a vacant lot. And so there's the opportunity for parking or spillover if it becomes necessary.
Okay.
Rich,
That's
I don't know. Yeah,
to the east of Jagerberg?
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know how it would be affected in terms of the quorum, but I think I have to recuse or abstain, whichever is appropriate.
Yeah, we have 11 people, so even if you abstain, we'll still, assuming everybody else votes to approve it. If not, then but we have 11 people, so we don't necessarily. Wait, we have 11, right? I believe. Well, just double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, we have 11. We actually have 13 people, but 2 are still waiting approval. Okay, so again, it's whether you just want it to be a local decision or whether you want to submit the comments. I'm thinking about, I don't know how to do it, and I'm up for suggestions. I try to keep the 239 referral form as easy to fill out as possible, but I'm starting to think I need to ask for additional information to make sure that I have the information I need to review. So just
Well, I mean, my suggestion would be, my motion would be to say local decision with comments and have the comments there just so people know what kinds of questions were raised.
Okay. So Cynthia, I guess you made a motion to accept the recommendation then, the local decision with comments?
Yes.
Okay.
Hey, Rich, this is Tony. I'll second that, okay?
Okay, thanks, Tony. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any no's? And Carl, you're gonna abstain?
Correct.
Okay, so it's still, the motion still carries 10-1 then. Okay. Next referral. What is it? It's an interesting project here, a pet crematorium in Catskill, out near Peckham, out near the mine, off of Olympus Palace Road. They're looking for a special use permit. It is crematoriums are listed as a special use for this zone. It's zoned rural, residential, agricultural. Crematoriums are a special use allowed under local code. It is out here. This is 9W. You have 20. It's on the 23A right of way. I have a couple other site maps, which I thought. Well, let me see. Well, it's right in here. This is Olympus. This blue line. This curved blue line is Olympus Palace Road, and the crematorium will be about 400 feet off of that road. Here it is, a little close in. Those 2 red lines, basically 2 containers they want to put in, and there'll be a driveway coming up into here. let's see. Okay, look. Here it is. Here's the, this is Olympus Palace Road. There, so the special use permit is to put in this gravel driveway and these two containers. Two containers, one for refrigerated storage, another for incineration, pet incineration. That's again, just those two, that's just my rough estimate of about where those two containers would be. It is within 500 feet of an ag district, so they do need to do an ag data statement if it has any potentially agricultural impacts. Yeah, local decision with comments. Again, assuming the town doing their due diligence, it does need to be licensed by the Department of State. It will need air permits. I assume it'll come back to the county planning board for site plan review. This is just for a special permit. It's a little confused about no office or visitors on site, so I'm not sure exactly how they're going to get, who's bringing the pets there to be cremated. Not really. This, as an aside, the developer also came to the Greene County Economic Development Corporation looking for funding. He was turned down for funding because of past bankruptcy issues. So there was just some of this is going to go forward. It's a little unclear, but this is for a special use permit. Really doesn't have any county impacts per se. The comments are listed in the referral notice, in the referral memo.
What about disposal after the cremation? Is there a plan for that? Or is that part of the SECA discussion?
I'm sorry, the what for the, like the
ashes.
ash disposal? It was not part of this application. No, this
Not
was
picking them up.
Yeah, this was just for installation of the gravel drive and the shipping containers. Again, that would probably all have to be part of their permitting process and licensing through the Department of State and through DEC. Would have to, there's DOS and DEC licensing and permits they would have to get.
So when they have to get that?
Again, the application, again, I know a little bit more about this because it also, the same office does the EDC, the Environmental Development Corporation application. So I know a little bit more about this than normal, but again, there was limited, they just did the short form for seeker, which I was a little surprised. I would think if it does come back as a site plan, I would think that the town would need to require a long form EAF on something like this, but I'm not sure exactly where. And again, I didn't check. I should have where it fit in as into the secret process, whether it's a listed action or not. My guess is a non-listed action, but.
So I just want to clarify. What we're talking about right now is just the special use permit.
Correct.
And proving that. And then a full site plan review will have to come back.
I would expect a site plan review if they had that.
Okay. So leaving these comments here where it asks for, the air quality things and the long form on the secret makes sense to leave those in there.
Again, I assume the town will require a site plan for this if they approve the special use permit. So right now, I know the developer doesn't have the money to the funding to do it, but that's another issue. But again, no real county impacts. That's why I listed it as a local decision. Other than the ag district, again, the ag district issue, which I always look at, how close they are to any kind of agricultural properties. So
I'd make a motion for a local decision with comments.
that was Carl.
Yes.
All right.
Jim,
This is Kylie. I'll second that.
I think we had 2 seconds. Is that Jim or Kylie? Kylie? Okay. All
Yep.
right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain or recuse? Okay. Motion carries 11-0. The next one is also the town of Catskill, also a special use permit for a recreational facility on Route 32 for, well, the application said a rec park, go-karts, batting cages, and mini golf. This is the parcel here. Apple Realty owns all of this larger parcel as well. 136,00846.2. It owns this whole larger parcel as well as this smaller parcel where they want to put this recreational facility. The actual site plan, however, did not include a mini golf, which is fine, and maybe it originally did and then something changed. But the site plan I received has a go-kart facility, a 40 pit space parking lot, and some batting cages. Looks like a nice recreational facility. Again, recreational uses require special permits in the highway commercial zone in the town of Catskill. This is a little zoomed in on the curb cut, the entrance and egress from State Route 32. As well as the parking lot. It appears like it's going to be a crushed stone gravel parking lot. Seemed like a kind of a big parking lot to me, 40 parking spaces, but concessions, bathrooms, like I said, batting cages, go-karts, maybe not. Maybe I could get pretty crowded, but seemed like a big parking lot. I don't know what kind of
fun to me.
Looks fun, yeah. I don't know what kind of go-karts, I know that electric go-karts are a bigger thing now, so I didn't know that. Again, I don't know whether it was gas go-kart. I'm assuming it's a gas go-kart, not electric go-karts, but that would be. So again, local decision with some of those comments. I don't know if anybody has any other comments.
Are there any residential houses close by?
I didn't. This. Back up here. I'd have to double check. I don't think either adjacent lot. I meant to preclude the ortho image. I forgot. I'm sorry. I could double check real quick.
Well, it would be a local decision, nonetheless. I was just curious because that place is going to get loud.
Well, yeah. Well, that's why I thought about, for the electric go-karts, they're not going to be as loud or be as potential as a nuisance. And my little bit of research is people like electric go-karts better than they like.
What's the current zoning, Rich?
Highway commercial.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm not sure. Like I said, I could double check really quickly. If there's residents nearby, if I can get to the web map.
I didn't see any greenery on that site plan. That would go a long way to reducing the impact of the noise.
Well, they do have some like stormwater gardens and things like that. I don't know about any like larger tree plantings, but let's see. Let me see there. This is the downside to Zoom. If we were all in the room, you'd be able to see the maps I'm pulling out. Let me see if they're landscape plan. It's hard to put all of these into a PowerPoint. Drainage area. Landscape plan. They do have a landscape plan here, which does have some plantings, perhaps not as many as you would like, but there are some, even like within the go-kart track itself, there are some plantings. There's some plantings along the entranceway, around the concession stand, to the rear of the batting cages. There's some plantings. So there are some plantings around the site.
Okay, as long as there's something for the department to take a look at and evaluate, I think we'll be fine with that. Is there anything about signage?
Yeah, just one second. I'm going to try to pull up.
That's not for us, though.
No, just thinking that what I would like to see in a package like that.
The only sign was the entrance sign, which I think was on one of the slides, but let me, can you guys still see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
See the map?
Yes.
Okay, well, there's the parcel. So I don't know whether there's residents there.
Well, it's gone before the town planning board, right? So
it does look like there's a residence just immediately north, right next to it. Here, there's two. They look like houses anyway. There's a farm, but that up really. So there are two residents right next door.
I just lost your.
Yeah, Rich, I lost it too.
You lost my screen?
Yep.
Yes.
yeah.
Huh. Let me see.
There you are. You're back.
And you see, what do you see the web mapper? Or what do you see?
It's a yellow map.
With the blue square.
Plot.
You don't see the property map where
Yes, that's.
I can see it, Rich.
okay.
Yeah.
Where you can see the property immediately north with the two what look like residences. It's hard to tell exactly, but maybe not. Maybe it's a business. I'm not sure. This one of these, I thought I included the sign. There was a picture of the sign on the map, but I guess I did not. I thought I included the sign on one of these. There is a sign, an entrance sign that just says the ranch. It's called the ranch. It's going to be called the ranch. So there's an entrance sign right here at the entranceway. Whoops, I can't see. Here, it'll say the ranch here in the entrance.
Okay.
Like you can see some of these plantings right here. I don't think they're, you see some plantings here along the road. Whether, I don't know if they're going to do it. They're really not going to do a lot to, there's plantings down here. Oh, this is all plantings here. These are plantings back here. And, so I don't know how much, it's not going to do a whole lot.
I agree that it's local decision. I just,
okay.
It's
right.
quite a big project, so.
Yes. Again, really didn't have any county impact. It's not a county road. It's a state road. They are going to have to get state highway permits to work in the right of way. So could include that in the comments, but I presume that they know that.
I'd like to, this is Kylie. I'd like to make a motion to accept this with local approval.
Okay,
This is Beth. I'll second it.
okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstain, recuse, no. Okay, one more. We got, this was another somewhat confusing little project that I had to go back and forth with the town of Catskill. For construction, it's an area variance for construction of a cabin and a sidewalk. And it turned out, after back and forth, finally, I was told by the code enforcement officer that the project, looking for the note, had actually already been built. Yeah, so open your requiring that. All structures already exist and were found to have been built without a building permit. Violation was issued. It was a tree house. It's called a cabin in the application. The code enforcement officer is referring to it as a tree house being used as an Airbnb.
Oh, geez.
Owner takes,
So I had my mic on mute, but I laughed really hard on that one.
Yeah, I did too.
yeah. So, you know, but again, I didn't get that information with the application. It was only because the application was very unclear, because this was the plan submitted. And first it asked for a 45-foot variance, and then it was a 4-foot variance. And then they said, no, the application is a 20-foot variance. I'm like, none of this is making any sense to me, because this is what was submitted. It's got none of the measurements were referencing any of the information I was getting from the planning secretary. So finally, you know, after back and forth, I was told that it is a 20-yard front yard variance, that it's required 50 yards, it's 50, and that and it's 30 feet from the right of way, and so they need a 20-yard front yard variance, and the elevated walkway also needs a 25. The front yard walkway is 25, and the tree house is 46 feet off the front line property and needs a 4-foot front yard variance. So the tree house itself, it's the walkway that needs the 20-yard variance, and the tree house itself, which again I was told was a cabin, is 46 feet, and so needs a 4-foot front yard variance, is a 50-foot setback. So I thought, you know, the proposal at first is like, okay, well, they're trying to just build this little cabin. They're trying to avoid the flood zone, which is good, of Catskill Creek, and but they already built it, so it was already all built. So that's, but again, I just got to figure out how to work with folks in these referrals to be able to get the right information. Technically, that should have been submitted as part of the initial referral. Any notes or violations, all zoning code should have all been submitted as part of the referral in order, to be a proper referral. Any decisions made by the zoning board or violations, that kind of thing, should have all been initially submitted. But so that's part of the comments, is just trying to continue to impress upon planning boards, local planning boards, that you got to submit complete information so that it makes, again, and this, like, for this plan, no, it was actually for the pet crematorium. You know, this was scanned in as an 8.5 by 11 and sent to me electronically. Well, it was an 11 by 17 map, it turned out. So I'm doing the measurements based on the scale, and nothing's making any sense to me. Then I realized that, you know, it's a scanned copy and the scale is not correct, because I'm working from an 8.5 by 11, but the initial map was 11 by 17. So as much as I support getting things to me electronically as much as possible, when they're maps to scale, I really should get a paper copy of the map so that it makes sense.
You know, written dimensions would, you know,
Also help.
yeah, they would override. Nobody should really be scaling drawings. It's got to
No.
be, you know, if it's a critical dimension, like a setback dimension, it has to be on the drawing.
Well, that's exactly what I said about this, because the dimension, this drawing, none of it was consistent with the
Application.
application.
The numbers do not match from what you were reading, so I was totally confused what you were referring to.
Well, yeah, well, me too. That's why I was back and forth half a dozen times with the town, with the planning board secretary, then with the code enforcement officer, trying to figure out, well, what exactly is being asked for. And then like I said, I found that essentially it's already built. So
do we still, you know, take a vote on this, make a determination on something that's already built?
Well, yeah, I mean, they still have to approve the area variance, I guess.
Okay.
You know, if the area variances aren't approved by the town, I guess they could potentially make the person tear it down. If they say that they're not going to approve the area variances, they've already been cited in violation for building it without building permits. So but that's again up to the town, not up to us. So
okay, so Cindy, I'll make a I will make a motion to recommend local decision with comment on this.
Okay.
Jim, I'll second it.
Okay, great. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstain or recuse? Okay, that is all the referrals we have. Like I said, the webinars, our training webinars are before our next meeting. The webinars are the 3rd and the 10th. So if people can put those on the calendar, that would be great. They're from 4 to 6 o'clock on the 10th and the 3rd and the 10th. And then we meet again on the 16th. And unless anybody else has anything else, that's all we have for tonight.
Okay. All right. Well, it was good seeing everyone.
Anybody want to make a motion
Thank
to adjourn?
you.
Anybody want to make a motion to adjourn?
Bob from Valkenburg will make a motion to adjourn.
Okay.
Tyler will second that.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Okay. All right. I didn't think so. All right. Great. Have a good month. Hopefully we'll see you on the 3rd.
Good night, everyone.
Good
Thanks,
night.
guys.
All right,
See
thank
ya.
you.
Get out of here.